A good look of a magic board right here. This is my go-to favorite board to ride right now. And let me tell you a little bit about it. I got the blank from Shojano, and I'm gonna have to ask him which blank that was. I know what it was, but I'm just gonna ask him what if it had any special rockers to it because this thing is amazing. And what I did was I left the deck. I think it's fairly flat on the deck, but it's not dead flat. It seemed like the blank had a bit of a kind of, I don't know if it did. Let me see here. Yeah, it seems fairly flat on the deck. And then the rails, is I did a 60/40 rail, but I didn't really, I didn't really pinch them very much. Just a little bit. I thinned them out enough so they're low. You can see my hand right here. They're low, like a low rail, but they're not like pinched, which I think would kind of fuck up this board. It's just about right. And then what I did, of course, I thinned out the tail, thinned out the nose, and I went a little bit. You can check the nose from here. You can see I thinned it out quite well on this one, mostly on the deck. Yeah, I actually took it all from the deck because I wanted to leave the rocker alone because the rocker was so nice in this blank. So I just thinned out. I made like a bit of a step deck about a third way down from the nose tip, and that makes it nice and light so you can swing it around quick on your turns. And I've noticed that too when I'm riding it. It is much looser than a stiff old board. So this thing is anything but stiff, but it's got good control as well. So the rails I did on this one go from up to down, up in the nose, like upturned in the nose, and more down in the tail, a bit harder. But for some reason, I didn't make them too hard. They got a very slight edge here. It's not like a big hard. I mean, I could have made them harder, but I just didn't on this one. I mean, there's edge, but it's not super hard back there. And when I looked at this board from tail to nose, I noticed I took the edge off. There's no edge. Of course, the rail rolls under, probably about an inch and a half around the middle of the board, and then it just gradually tapers to the tail. Then it upturns through the nose gradually. That's what I did on this one, and it works really, really well. This is an experimental board, and in the tail, I did was supposed to be a V bottom. It's experimental. I heard Shaper online talking about it, and I just want to try it out. So the V is kind of peaks up ahead of the fin, probably right in here. Then it fades to flat on the tail, and then I kind of faded it out about a third way up the board. I just didn't know what to do because I didn't really talk to the shaper. I just kind of did what I thought would be. And then I left it like a flat bottom to about a quarter ways up from the nose. I did like a convex thing. So it's kind of like it's got roll out towards the rail and out the nose. It's deeper out the nose. Then it fades out to a quarter ways down. And when I was done shaping, it kind of faded more back this way, probably about to the third. And it blends in with the bottom. So did that on both sides. Then I kind of noticed like it had a bit of a V in the nose. I didn't think that should be there. So from the nose down to about the quarter ways point, I opened my planer fully, opened it up about 1/8 inch, and then I gradually faded it out through here. Then I just blended it all out. And when I rode this thing for the first time, I was blown away, and it's just getting better every time. Like I did some turns, like cutbacks, and it didn't lose any speed at all. So when I did my cutback, I was still jamming. I can get back out of my turn, just be moving. And it feels a little bit skatey sometimes. Like say if I'm going down a line trying to navigate some lines, it just navigates real well and doesn't track at all. And it feels loose when I want it to be, and it also holds a line if I want to. And I've hung 5 on it. It's kind of like a really thin nose tip. I did the very top of the tip is about 3/16 of an inch at the very tip of the top. But then if I go back about maybe half a foot, it's still got some volume up there. So I didn't by any means go too thin. I mean, you can kind of look at it. Like, see the rail up there. See, it's not too thin. About what is that? About probably about half a foot back. It's not too thin. And like I said, I nose righted it. Hung 5. I'm not that great at nose riding yet. This board's a dream.